Everyone, welcome to the temple. Thank you for coming. Yes. Today, we are going to continue to study the Diamond Sutra. But somehow, I feel my head just like a diamond. It's very hard. A few days ago, I noticed that my physical condition is not in good condition. Sometimes I may not be able to say things clearly with my voice. So today I'm going to try. I hope this diamond hardness will turn to the sharpness. Before we do the reading of this sutra, I still wanted to spend a few minutes to explain who is qualified to listen to this teaching. Because when Buddha was in India, 2,500 years ago, when Buddha sees disciples from all different corners of society, Buddha did not offer the same teachings to every individual. Buddha always listened to all individuals. We all wanted to have happiness. We all wanted to be free from sufferings. But what kind of goal you wanted to achieve? Buddha understands those needs first, then teach everyone properly, help them to gain positive understanding on their lives. So if a person who says, Buddha, I'm confused about the practice on good deeds. I don't know how to lead my life on the right path. So Buddha will simply say, maybe you observe 5 precepts or practice 10 good deeds. These will help you. So no killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, no drugs. Then those are basic teachings in Buddhism, just simply to help people how to understand what are good deeds and avoid wrongdoings in their life. Sometimes people may say that, Buddha, I have no friends at all. In my life, I'm feeling very lonely. Then Buddha will ask him a little more information. Discover this person is very selfish. He never shares anything with others. Very stingy personality. So in his case, Buddha will teach him, be generous. You share whatever you have, your time, your energy, your wealth, your food, your water, anything that you can share with others. Okay. Buddha, I feel I always have anger inside me. My mind is not stable. I cannot enjoy my life. Then Buddha will teach this person, loving kindness. Meditation, meditate, train yourself, be stabilized in your mental stage. So there are a lot of teachings for different individuals. Only those individuals continually on the practice of generosity for a long, long time, without any hesitation, without any laziness. Okay. Then when Buddha sees those people emphasize on the generosity of giving wealth, sharing material wealth, then Buddha will remind those individuals, sharing proper right understanding, sharing the Dharma is the most important giving. So later we're going to see Buddha sometimes compare generosity on sharing wealth, generosity on sharing the Dharma. Sharing the Dharma is so important. And so this sutra is teaching us how to understand the Dharma properly, correctly, then share those understanding with others, which is better than sharing wealth with others. Okay. Then Buddha will continue to teach us. We know how to share the Dharma, we know how to share our wealth. But I'm still maintaining my self-centered personality. I, Reverend Han Yi, can teach you all. I'm the best. I'm the one who is very wise. And you are my students. You belong to me, and I'm your teacher. I'm a great teacher. Oh, I'm so above everyone. In that case, Buddha will teach us this Diamond Sutra, cut off this kind of attachment. So we say Diamond Sutra. This wisdom, just like a diamond, cut off our attachment on ourselves. Okay. And when we talk about where we accumulate sufferings, according to Buddha's teaching, Buddha said all kinds of suffering originate from ignorance. And also there are different levels of ignorance. The first one is the ignorance without knowing anything. No knowledge, no proper understanding at all. Just like a child who doesn't know fire is dangerous. He wants to play fire without knowing the fire can burn his hand. So he put fire on hand. Of course, the fire will burn his hand. So in this kind of situation, this child is without any knowledge, without any understanding about the dangers of a fire. The second ignorance is we have knowledges. We have proper education. We learn a lot of information in our life. But we don't have the wisdom to use those informations properly. Every time when I heard the news about the man in Norway who killed about 70 people, students, on an island. How could this young man, well-educated young man, use his gun to shoot those young people? And those people are innocent, young people. How could a man who's not dumb, who received proper education, and who has certain kind of idea leading him toward the wrong way, using his knowledge to do this massacre? So just having information, just having knowledge without wisdom, it can be dangerous. How about World War I, World War II? And how about Cultural Revolution in China? Those leaders are not dumb. They are very smart. But somehow they can use their power in a certain way to kill people, destroy the country, and teach children how to against their parents. So right now, after a few decades, in China, we wanted to build morality. We wanted to educate young kids to respect your teachers, your parents. It's going to take some time because of that disaster in China. And finally, there's another ignorance. The ignorance I just mentioned. We attach to ourselves. This is the fundamental ignorance. All kinds of sufferings or problems actually based on this ignorance. even I'm doing something very good. For example, I'm working here at the temple, serving members of Texas Buddhist Association. If I blindly attach to myself, increase my self-centered personality, and grow my ego every day. Every time when I have disagreement with Venerable Jinghai, we're going to fight. If he's not going to fight me, I'm going to fight him. Even I'm serving in the temple, doing something that is good. But as long as I have this ignorance attached to myself, anything that relates with me, I feel this is mine. This is my temple. This is my group. This is my disciples. In this kind of thinking, Buddha said, you are going to accumulate negative thoughts. You are still facing difficulties. You are going to tie yourself up. You cannot be free completely. So that's why Buddha said, let's study Diamond Sutra. Okay, now let's open the sutra and then let's read the chapter 15 first. Do we have copies?
Coming.
Coming? Oh, okay. 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 I think we need more, so that's why let's wait for a while. And I wish every one of us will read the chapter 15. Okay. So in Buddhism, when we say ignorance, please understand that when Buddha say ignorance, it doesn't just mean that you don't know anything. Yeah. Don't know anything is a part of ignorance. But knowing something without right understanding, without wisdom, also is another kind of ignorance. Especially when we have some education, we know something. When we have different kind of concepts, when we have different kind of opinion, because we all have ideas, it's very difficult for us to find the facts together, because you hold on your idea, I'm holding my idea. Okay. Okay. All right. Today, who would like to read for us? Okay, please. Chapter 15.
Grains of sand in the Ganges as an act of generosity, and give as many again in the afternoon and as many again in the evening, and continues doing so for countless ages. And if, on the other hand, another person listens to this sutra with complete confidence and without contention, that person's happiness will be far greater. But the happiness of one who writes this sutra down, receives, recites, and explains it to others cannot be compared. Continue.
Yes, please.
In summary, Saputi, this sutra brings about boundless virtue and happiness that cannot be conceived or measured. If there is someone capable of receiving, practicing, reciting, inconceivable, indescribable, and incompatible virtue. Such a person will be able to shoulder the highest, most fulfilled, awakened career of the
Tathagata, yes. Tathagata, yes.
Why Saputi? If one is content with the small teachings, if he or she is still caught up in the idea of a self, a person, a living being, or a lifespan, he or she will not be able to listen, receive, recite, and spread this sutra to others. Saputi, any place this sutra is found, is a place where God's man Ashuras will come to make offerings. Such a place is a shrine and should be venerated with formal ceremonies, circumambulations, and offerings of flowers and incense.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. In this chapter, I would like to invite you to think any questions or comments you might have from the reading. And also, I wanted to point out that there is a sentences. Why Shaputi, if one is content with the small teachings? Small teachings. Can you explain what does it mean? Small teachings. Sometimes in Buddhism, we see all the teachings from Buddha. Basically, we do describe these are Buddha's teaching. But certain teachings just for certain purpose. It's not guiding us to achieve the Buddhahood, just to benefit individuals for what they need. Buddha, I would like to invite you to teach me. How can I take care of my wife? Okay, I'm a husband. I wanted to take good care of my wife. And Buddha will teach this man on certain kind of concepts. And a good man, if you do this, your wife will be pleased. Okay. Occasionally offer gifts to your wife. She's going to be happy. Sometimes when I perform a wedding ceremony, I do use those teachings during the ceremony. And telling the husband how to take care of your wife. And also telling the wife how to take care of your husband. Let him eat healthy food. Don't let him go to fast food store, eat French fry all the time. Okay. Those are still teachings from Buddha. But this teaching just limited for a wife, for a husband to help each other. So we consider this a small teaching, just for one family. Even you say, I wanted to become a monk or a nun. I wanted to meditate. I wanted to increase my right understanding, liberate myself from birth and death, liberate myself from all kinds of sufferings. I just feel this is what I wanted to achieve. Okay, this is still good. Buddha won't say, oh, you are doing something wrong. But when a person just think how to liberate himself, he doesn't want to help others, then we consider this is a small teaching. Okay, just for yourself. You don't want it to be a bodhisattva. This Diamond Sutra, actually, Buddha was talking to bodhisattvas. The title of a bodhisattva, the name of a bodhisattva means all the practitioners, they all wanted to cultivate their compassion and loving kindness to share their practice with others. So I'm not just riding bicycles. I'm driving a bus. I'm going to carry myself to another place. At the same time, there are passengers on the bus will go with me. So we call this bodhisattva. Okay. So today, I wanted to use this opportunity to explain what is this small teaching. Okay. On the opposite, Mahayana teaching. Okay. There's a Hinayana teaching, small teaching. Okay. And also, there's another sentences. Saputi, any place this sutra is found is a place where gods, men, and asuras, a kind of beings, exist that we cannot see all the time. Do you know asura? Beings who has virtues in his life. His life is full of luxuries, but at the same time, he's full of anger. A kind of a being like this, we call them asuras. Okay. So when you see a rich person who's very rich, but at the same time, who has a great temper, a lot of temper inside him, we call this asura. Okay. Asuras will come to make offerings. Such a place is a shrine and should be venerated with formal ceremonies. On this sentence, I do want to share one teaching from this sutra and also other sutras. Buddha always reminds us, when you see the Dharma, you see the Buddha. When you see the Dharma, you see the Buddha. Buddha is where the Dharma is found. So I think this is the proof that you don't have to go to pagodas. You don't have to find a temple. As long as you have a chance to listen this sutra and to read this sutra, this is where Buddha is. We should pay our respects to this place, or pay respect to the teacher who's teaching this Dharma. I think basically this is the fundamental teaching of a Buddha. Sometimes people will ask, why we have a Buddha statues in the temple? We have a Guanyin Bodhisattva statue over here, and we have a Shakyamuni Buddha statues in the Grand Hall. The reason is very simple. Because many of us, we don't see the Dharma all the time. So that's why we need a statue to represent the Dharma. To remind you there is a Buddha's teaching. We wanted to learn. So when we see Shakyamuni Buddha, we wanted to remind ourselves, Buddha taught us the Dharma. Buddha asked us to cultivate our kindness. So the face of a Buddha showing the kindness. And also this Bodhisattva with 48 arms. This is a symbol of another teaching, reaching out to all kinds of living beings, as much as possible, as many as possible, showing your great compassion, showing your great loving kindness without discrimination. So in China, when we describe a person who's very able, who's very wise, who's very powerful, we are going to say, how we are going to say it? 三头六臂. Is it right? 三头六臂. 3 heads, 6 arms. When we say this person has 3 heads and 6 arms, it's not what do you call it? Actually mean this person has 3 heads and 6 arms. Just explain he's very able to do a lot of things in his lifetime. So when we see those 48 arms, we know this Guanyin Bodhisattva who has a great compassion, great loving kindness, reaching out to all kinds of living beings. Every palms on this statue, every palms, there is an eye. That means when we reach out, we have to have wisdom in it. So there are symbols to remind us how to better ourselves. Okay, so we are not going to say that just worship those statues, asking blessings from Buddhas. Actually, statues are the way to remind us to remember the teaching of a Buddha. Today we have old friends. Welcome to the temple. Later, please say a few words to everyone. Okay. Later. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Siwon and husband. Okay. Let's continue to study the second paragraph. Who would like to read the second paragraph, chapter 16? Okay. Larry, would you please? Okay. Yes.
Furthermore, Subhuti, if a son or daughter of good family, while reciting and practicing this sutra, is disdained or slandered, his or her misdeeds committed in past lives, including those that could bring about an evil destiny, will be eradicated, and he or she will attain the fruit of the most fulfilled awakened mind. Subhuti, in ancient times, before I met Buddha Dipankara, I had made offerings to and had been attendant of all 84,000 multi-millions of Buddhas. If someone is able to receive, recite, study, and practice this sutra in the last epoch, the happiness brought about by this virtuous act is hundreds of thousands times greater than that which I brought about in ancient times. In fact, such happiness cannot be conceived or compared with anything, even mathematically. Such happiness is immeasurable. Subhuti, the happiness resulting from the virtuous act of the son or daughter of good family who receives, recites, studies, and practices this sutra in the last epoch will be so great that if I were to explain it now in detail, some people would become suspicious and disbelieving, and their minds might become disoriented. Subhuti, you should know that the meaning of this sutra is beyond conception and discussion. Likewise, the fruit resulting from receiving and practicing this sutra is beyond conception and discussion.
Thank you. That's about it. If I say, I'm going to do something for you, I work for you, cleaning your garden, mowing your lawn, and I have done something good. But in my mind, I want you to pay me $20. Can you understand that as long as I have a price for what I have done for a friend, your virtue, your happiness is limited. How about I go to your yard, mow the lawn, clean the flower bed, water everything for you without asking you anything? How would you feel? It's unlimited virtues. Whenever you can do something for me, you are going to do the same. Basically, when most people put price on their doing, we are in the business world. Please, this is not the following the Dharma teaching at all. Okay, let's do business. Okay, you do business. You are in this level. Everything is priced. But today, when we wanted to practice the Dharma, and we wanted to gain enlightenment, we wanted to be free from sufferings, we wanted to purify ourselves, no price, no any kind of a limitation for yourself. You just do it. And you are going to accumulate countless happiness in the future for yourself. Even you don't want to think countless happiness. Okay. Today, I wanted to use some minutes, some time to ask you, or perhaps I'm going to ask Larry first. Buddha taught us, myself, I. When I say I, when I say myself, actually, this I is conditional existence. When I say I, it's based on 5 conditions, 5 aggregates, 5 skandhas. First, the body, physical body. When you see me, you always see my body first. So without a body, you cannot recognize me today. The body, the feeling inside me, my emotional feelings. I'm very joyful, or I don't feel comfortable, feelings. And the perception, how can I'm going to perceive the world, bring knowledges to me. Mental formation, then consciousness. Those are 5 conditions to form ourselves. And every one of us, basically, will based on those conditions in order to exist in this world. And also, we are using those conditions as the way I feel I want to be. This is my body. This is my feeling. This is my perception. This is my mental formation. This is my consciousness. Right now, let's concentrate on 2 conditions, perception and a mental formation. Larry, would you please explain what is the definition of a perception and a mental formation?
Perceptions?
Yes.
Those are the sense doors.
Pardon?
Those would be the sense doors.
Sense doors, okay.
Perception is what you see, hear, smell,
You
taste.
see, okay.
And what's, I guess, mind is in there, is it?
Okay. Perception in Chinese, we translate into the word xiang. Xiang. Xiang, actually, when you write in Chinese, above your mind, seeing, or your heart, xiang, there is a character, xiang, means a form. Form. This is Larry. So when I open my eyes, I see Larry. This is Larry White. Another Larry is Larry Rice. Okay, I don't see Larry Rice right now. Okay, there's no form, but I still have his name in my mind. How about mental formation? After perception, yes.
Mental formations are those things that rise up from store consciousness.
Okay, the store of consciousness raised up.
Based on past, over our lives, we see things and we store them, and
Okay.
then this thing appears again, and we associate with our past concepts of this object.
Okay.
We may be afraid of something, or we may like something. It all depends on what we put in our previous consciousness.
Making decisions.
Yeah.
Making decisions. Making decisions. So in Chinese translation, we translate mental formation into two words. Sometimes we use si. Also, it's very interesting. When you write si, actually, there's a character of a field. The field, you can grow things. What you wanted to grow, apple or peach, you can grow. And also, there's a heart, mind, under this character. And also, mental formation, we translate into another word, action. A lot of times, we will say, Venerable Hangyi, you are moving your arms up, your right arm up. But Buddha said, when you see my moving arm, actually, it's the consequence of my mind, mental formation. I wanted to raise my right arm. I'm not going to raise my left arm. So it's a kind of action already. Action doesn't mean you move your legs, your arms, you speak. These are actions. Actually, action based on mental formation. Okay. Today, the reason for us to discuss perception and the mental formation, because I would like to invite you to think whatever we see around us deeply, profoundly. In ancient time, when people see the earth, it's a flat, is right? It's a flat. It's not wrong until scientists, they do some study, they teach us the earth is not wrong, or it's not flat. It's not flat. So we started to change our perception. We started to change our mental formation. Yeah. We feel the earth is not moving at all. After we learn from scientists, the earth is moving constantly, spinning all the time. Okay, we don't feel it's moving at all. It's not moving. In China, when we say, you are very steady, we're going to say, you are very steady just like earth. It's very steady. But somehow the earth is moving. Inside the earth is moving. Nothing is stable. So we are going to improve our perception, correct our mental formation. A while ago, some friends, we saw the flowers. Oh, they are very colorful. Red and white, blue or green. We feel the colors on the flower. But scientists tell us the color is from the sun, sunlights. There are no color on the ground just because of the sunlights. Okay. And also today, I wanted to say there's something happening at the Bodhi Center. About a month ago, one day, Reverend Huidu, back to the temple, he said, Venerable Hangyi, the ornament on the pagoda of a memorial hall was broken. Something happened. So the whole ornament been destroyed on the top of the building. I sent someone to Bodhi Center to check for us. And that gentleman gave us a certain kind of a perception. Venerable Hangyi, maybe someone used the gun, shoot it, destroyed it. I said, it's been a long time. I don't think someone will purposely shoot the ornament. Okay. Then one day I was at the Bodhi Center. I talked to Venerable Yuanfu, Katapunya. I said, Yuanfu Fashi, what is the cause for that ornament being destroyed? He said, I checked the roof. I feel there was the lightning strike. The lightning strike on the ornament, so destroyed the ornament. But one day, I used what you call the binocular and check the roof myself. I don't believe someone purposely shoot the ornament, because when you shoot that object, probably it's going to make a hole. The force of a bullet will go through the ornament, making a hole, not destroying everything. How about the lightning strike? I don't see any burning. I saw the damage from the ornament on certain area. So in my perception, based on my eyes seeing experience, I try to make this kind of explanation. Before the ornament being destroyed, we had a heavy thunderstorm. I'm thinking there was maybe a small tornado picking up a piece of wood and hit the ornament. So the ornament destroyed. So right now we are making a lot of a guess, is that right? Who's going to know the facts? We don't know. Maybe we have to go to UT Austin or A&M, hire a group of scientists to go to Bodhi Center, do some studies. Otherwise, we are making guess. We see something, we feel we know something. Actually, I'm not sure we all know the facts. There are three kinds of different explanations. Which one is correct? We have to prove it. And the Buddha always asked us, when you see something, see some phenomena, don't use your false perception. Don't make wrong mental formation to disorient yourself. Okay. So right now, I'm going to ask you, who is Reverend Han Yi? Who is Reverend Han Yi? She's not going to say anything. Basically, we will say, Reverend Han Yi, that's you. You are here. Then let's ask, what is Reverend Han Yi? Who is Reverend Han Yi? I have a name here. Then you will say that this is Reverend Han Yi's body. Okay? This is you. Okay, let's continue to ask another question. Now you are using this body for a few decades. How about after you are very old, you passed away? Who is Reverend Han Yi? I'm going to ask that question. So at the moment, we're going to pause a little. We're going to see something beyond the body. We're not going to say, this is Reverend Han Yi, this is a permanent body of a Reverend Han Yi. We all know this is not a permanent body. Then we are going to see where Reverend Han Yi will be. Oh, Reverend Han Yi will go to another place with his soul, normally in West, in East. A lot of people, when they wanted to figure out life after death, we always feel that there must be a soul. It's formlessness phenomena. There's no form. There's a soul. Okay. Then we are going to ask, what kind of phenomena of this soul? Is it changeable or not changeable? Let's continue to ask, what kind of soul is it? You have this soul is not changeable or changeable. If people say it's not changeable, because when we say something is changeable, myself is changeable, not everyone can accept this concept. Because somehow deep in our consciousness, we feel we are permanent. We are individually exist in this world, in this universe. something there is not changeable. We call this soul. Then I'm going to ask this question. If you say you have a soul that is not changeable, if your soul is black, you cannot change it. Is right? It's always black. If your soul is white, it's not changeable. It's always white. So in this case, if you say, today I'm not perfect, I'm not very good, I wanted to purify myself, I wanted to better myself, how can you do it? So this is a question for us to ask you, what is your perception? What is your mental formation? This is permanent, not permanent. I'm sorry. So, perception, mental formation. They are useful which way we wanted to use. Buddha said, let's use our perception, mental formation properly. Let's use this body properly. When you say who you are and what you are, we have to get rid of those permanent soul ideas, permanent body ideas. Okay. Then, in this case, we are able to improve ourselves. And that the existence, actually, when you ask who I am just as the way it is right now. I'm changing constantly. I have 5 skandhas to form myself. Those are the facts. But we don't see the facts all the time. We see one entity of mind. It's very difficult to eradicate this kind of concepts. Yeah. So over here, even certain kind of stage, Buddha said, it's difficult for us to use our concepts or verbal words to describe it. It's beyond conception and discussion. And even recognizing ourselves is also beyond conception, beyond discussion. We cannot say this is real existence because it's changing all the time. And also we cannot deny this phenomenon. We cannot say there's no one in the hall. We cannot deny this. There are people in the hall. But this phenomenon is changing phenomenon. Okay. As long as we know how to use all kinds of conditions, we are on the right path. This is the stage of enlightenment. Because there's no more attachment. So when you say soul is permanent, unchangeable, we are still in the trap. Unless you feel it's changeable, it's constantly changing existence, then we are on the right path. We call this selflessness. And, okay, any other comments after this? Yes?
I was wondering about intuition.
Intuition, yes.
Is prajna in Sanskrit, and could it be that it refers to intuition? You know, I think it's this sutra that says that Buddhas have no perception, Buddhas have no perception. Could that be an indication that they're talking about intuition? Because intuition doesn't use the perception of the senses. Now we know today that is a sort of perception, but not from the senses. So I wonder if Buddha is referring to intuition.
You act naturally.
Yeah.
And also because you already practice on the right path for a long time, you already accumulate good conducts. At this moment, just use your intuition, react naturally on the right way. Yes, thank you. Yes, sometimes we do use the word naturally react. Perhaps for you, intuition, yes. Okay. Any other thoughts? Any comments for this? Yes.
When I read the chapter 15, the last chapter about that, wherever the sutra is a shrine. Then sentient beings, gods, asuras will come to make offerings. I don't know if it's related. So does that mean like Sutra has power, these words?
Oh,
power,
okay.
energy?
Yeah, actually, it simply means that all kinds of beings, when they know there is a teaching of this sutra, many of them are disciples of a Buddha. They are going to come and pay respect. That's it. Just like we have a temple in Houston. Without a temple, a lot of Buddhists, they don't know where to go. After we have this temple, a lot of people will come, pay respect. It's very simple. Yeah. So disciples including gods, asuras, human beings. Yeah, human beings. And even the dog we have at the Bodhi Center. Venerable Yuan Fu is the person who's taking care of the dog, Lai Miao. Venerable Yuan Fu went to Tennessee for a week. One day, Sister Xiu Dao called Yuan Fu Fa Si, Venerable Yuan Fu, on the phone. And Sister Xiu Dao said, Yuan Fu Fa Si, Lai Miao, the dog, is nearby. Do you want to talk to her? Yuan Fu Fa Si said, yes, let me talk to Lai Miao. So Lai Miao was on the phone. After Lai Miao heard Yuan Fu Fa Si's voice, she got up, ran to Yuan Fu Fa Si's room. Went to his room. She wants to pay respect to Yuan Fu Fa Si. Okay. All right. Any other thoughts?
I'm sorry. One interesting thing, if to show how we change, even in just this body, if we, and a lot of us have done this, where you, with your coworkers, everybody brings in a picture of when you were a baby or a child, and put them on the board with no name, and people have to guess who it is, and it just shows the difference depending on the age difference of, you know, the childhood to, you know, the person, maybe the coworker is 20. You can kind of tell, but the coworker who might be 60, you know, it can sometimes, other than give away like really red hair or something, you might say, oh,
Yes,
maybe that
yes.
was you. But it's just interesting how
Yes,
you
yes.
know, just changes
Yes.
us inside and outside.
That's very, very skillful to show people how we changes. And maybe one day, let me correct my own photos. Put it over here. And if no one tells you that that was my 3-year-old photo, probably you won't recognize that's Reverend Han Yi. And the before and the present, or maybe later after. So it's very interesting to see ourselves and also to see others changing, constantly. Yes. And because today we have any thoughts? No, yes, please.
Perception to me is very difficult because it's more complex than we initially think. I had a friend that got a degree in philosophy, and I asked him what he learned after all those 4 years. And he said he just learned to ask better questions. That's all he learned.
Okay.
And
okay.
I think I've done a lot of work, and I see things, and I understand the Dharma Sutra where, you know, get rid of your ideas about a tree, you can see a tree better. But maybe I shouldn't be looking at the tree. Maybe I should be helping Belkis do the dishes. You know. So part of perception is choosing what to perceive, because we have all these things, even in this room. There are many things to look at and see and think about. So that's the hard part, is choosing or cultivating what thoughts should arise, and not just, you know, you may be thinking about something and seeing it very clearly, but you shouldn't even be thinking about that. You should be thinking about something else, you know. Maybe you're thinking about how well you're doing your job and you should be in the Peace Corps instead, or something, you know. That's the hard part. It's very difficult, you know. Are we looking at what we should be looking at? Are we doing what we should be doing? And it's overwhelming.
Thank you for sharing this with us. Yesterday, Saturday, the day before yesterday, Friday. I try to collect the correct information. The study room that I use at the temple, the air conditioning was broken. And I did report this instance to the temple. And a lady, a volunteer, she's responsible to call someone. But somehow, after I back to the temple in the afternoon, it's not still fixed. So I was sitting in the room. Friday was pretty hot. So at the moment, you feel that, oh, I hope air conditioning system can be quickly fixed so we can cool off the room. But the lady did not give me any further information. The crew will be here at 2, but at 2 no one came. At 3 no one came. At the moment, you did not see anyone who's working on the air conditioning system. Also, the lady did not call me to give me further information. What would you do? What is your perception? Are you going to guide yourself on the positive side or negative sides? At the moment, I just let it go, let it stay the way it is. I don't want it to make any judgment. I feel today is a time for me to practice how to deal with heat. Perhaps let me sweat a little more to gain better health. So I enjoy doing what I'm writing, I'm reading. Until late afternoon, around 6, the lady came to the temple. Whereupon you are still in heat. Yes, I do. Nobody came and fixed. She said, I'm going to remind them again. The crew was busy today. And I said, where were you this afternoon? Venerable Hang Yi, I went to Tambo. I tried to find materials for our pond at the Bodhi Center. I got lost. So I spent so much time in those areas, driving on the road. Oh, it was so hot on the road. And, so if I made any wrong perception, any wrong judgment, any negative thinking, I was wasting my energy. I was doing something not suitable to deal with this kind of phenomenon. I'm doing something bad to a good person. Is that right? Perception, mental formation, be careful. We are using this all the time. How are you going to use it? This is a question.